All right, and we are live. What is up, everybody? Aaron the Dog back with a return of the Contender Series. Return of the Contender Series breakdowns. Moving forward, hopefully, I'm going to be doing them most Sunday mornings, kind of post UFC and whatever else is going on. But yeah, obviously, tough break or whatever happened yesterday for Aspinall, but overall, pretty good event. Pretty good weekend overall from the Friday and Saturday. I apologize for not getting the UFC breakdown up for you guys. Quite a bit of life circumstances and things just came up this week, so I do really apologize. I'll do my best not for that to happen. Moving forward, Norton's going to be away for a few weeks as some things have come up, but we'll have some other people coming in to fill in for the breakdowns. Just going to be me for the Contender Series breakdown. Maybe the whole season. We'll see. LFA, Lucky Locks will be back with me on Wednesday. UFC breakdown Wednesday as well. Yeah, we're going to get into the Contender Series breakdown just right away here. 135, or 125, 45, 35, 85, and 205. All men's divisions today. Some really, really good, interesting fighters on this Contender Series. So I'm excited to see throughout the season how this progresses. But yeah, we're starting off with, I think, one of my favorite prospects on the whole card, I should say. Alessandro Costa leading this off at flyweight, taking on Andres Luna Martinelli, the 12-0 Ecuadorian fighter here, taking on the 10-2 Brazilian fighting on Mexico here. So both these guys very, very good fighters, especially in the grappling, very, very close. Yep. Thank you, Visceral, as always, my unofficial co-host. Good to have you here, man. But yeah, both these guys very, very good in the grappling. It's in the stand-up. I think there's a significant difference, as well as the level of competition and experience overall. Even though they both have similar records, Andres Luna Martinetti, much lower level of competition. Also known as a bantamweight for part of his career, but has made it down to 125. Got a calf slicer of a of a 7-7 fighter with UWC back in November. But yeah, overall, you look at the records, not a high level of competition, not a ton of tape. What the tape that I have been able to find mostly shows his grappling. You see mostly submissions on his record, 3, 4 decisions as well, but the rest being submissions aside from one knockout. He's a little bit longer than his opponent. Costa is definitely going to be one of the shorter guys in most of his fights at 5'4", but very, very compact and powerful, while Luna is going to be kind of a longer, more gangly fighter. But I think on the ground, they could kind of cancel each other out. But if there's an advantage, I give it to Costa as well, now fighting on Mexico. Listed at 5'3", actually. 5 straight wins for him, 10-2 now. So both guys with 12 wins. The Kike Gonzalez fight, fantastic. You can go and watch 4 or 5 of Costa's fights on Fight Pass because he fought with the Lux Fighting Organization in Mexico. A lot of fights at high elevation. Showed good grappling when his grappling wasn't working, able to show that his stand-up was more than enough. Split decision, his only loss in his last 8. Got knocked out back in 2016. One thing I will say with Costa is that he does like to fight the fight at his pace. First few minutes, usually, not a lot of action from him, a lot of movement and setting up his shots early on. Will go to his grappling as the fight goes as well. I really like Costa. He's coming off of his now 2 straight title defenses, 3rd overall 5-round fight. So that's a little bit of a worry, is that going back to 3 rounds, the urgency has to be there. I think he's going to be able to adjust there. I think from a power perspective, Costa has a significant edge, and I do think that he is the better overall grappler. Costa used to fighting guys who are a little bit taller. Martinetti listed at 5'7", looks to have, a little bit longer arms, so it could be an issue. But overall, I think Costa ends up taking his time early. It really is kind of one of these when Costa first connects, he could end up putting him down and getting to a chance to finish. I like Costa. As you can probably tell from my lead up here, the price on him right now at -230. Martinetti plus 195, a little bit of money coming on Martinetti. Maybe wait a little bit, but yeah, I think Costa should be the favorite. 2-1 is a little bit steep here on an undefeated fighter. Both guys, I think, are very, very going to be very ready, but I think Costa has the edge here, and I'm going to pick him to get the finish by KO in round number 1. Next fight at 145 pounds. All the fights on this card are very, very good, so I'll save it saying this is a good one, but for every single one. But Dennis Buska, Bazooka, as I call him, or Buska, taking on Khalil Romero here. Should be a very good fight. 7-2 Dennis versus the 6-1 tame alpha male wrestling, obviously Khalil Romero here. It was fun to watch some tape on Khalil. Very, very fun fighter here. 5'10", 26 years old, last fought in June of last year, so it's been a little while. Beating Andy Perez, a 7-2 fighter, knocked him out pretty early with Combate Global. Overall, the level of competition, not great. So you are getting finishes. As an amateur, you went undefeated as well. As an amateur from 2016 to 2017, 2018, he had 4 fights, being successful in all of those, getting the finish in all those, mostly by submission, using his wrestling. Then ran into Jonas Flock, 11-3 fighter. Not a bad loss there, but was knocked out in that fight. Israel Delgado and Andy Perez, not really notable competition. Once in 2019 and 2021. Was supposed to race Ryan Filligan at the end of 2021 in November. It was taken off the LFA card. And now he's getting shot right into a tough spot here against Dennis out of Team Sarah Longo. Dennis the Great, Buska here. It's very, very good, very young still, good stand-up fighter. Really like Buska here. I heard somewhere that he's throwing his fight purse on himself. Also, we'll have Sterling Mirab and Longo. Exactly. And then Contender Series for Tuesday, Kelly. Tuesday Contender Series is back, so just started this up a little while ago. But Buska, yeah, he's got a really great corner there. Sterling was there for the last fight against Bogdan Zarian on the Contender Series back in September of 2020. He did not have a bad showing of himself at all there. Survived the early power of Melsick in that fight. Melsick at that point was really, putting everybody away and rather quickly. So survived the power, got better as the fight came on. I think he had a little bit of nerves there, just got a little slow starting and just I know that I mean Sunday. Hey, I got to get it in somewhere. And I didn't want to just have one day. I wanted people to have a couple days to find it. But, the good win over Tim Dooling before that, the last 3 wins, not over a notable level of competition. I was only able to find a highlight of the Michael Lawrence finish. Looked great. But overall, I've liked what I've seen out of Dennis. He continues to improve, only 24 years old. It's all about the takedown defense here, which is going to definitely be ready being at Sarah Longo. And overall, I do think that when Khalil struggles to get the takedowns, he is going to have some issues on the feet. Defensively, he does have issues. And overall, I just think Dennis is levels above here. So originally, I was looking at Khalil Romero as a possible spot here. And I still think he could give issues if he's able to get that wrestling going with Team Alpha Male. But I'm going to edge it towards Dennis Buska here. Dennis minus 205. I don't like the price really that much. Plus 175 on Khalil Romero. Not facing a great level of competition. So this is going to be a pass from me. I'll edge it towards the favorite. But Khalil Romero, definitely a dog I can understand people going for. Next fight at 205. And this is a fun one. We've got very, very interesting prospect here in Anton Turkalj here. I really just have liked what I've been able to see out of him. Very, very fun, interesting type of striker, a little bit like a Jerry in some ways. I just think overall a guy that the 205 division could really, really use. A ton of personality, very, very great hair, even though on his typology here, he's got the bald look. The pleasure man he goes by, taking on Acacio dos Santos, Pequeño, big guy here at 205. Both these guys 6'4", One moves much better than Anton, then Ocasio kind of marches down opponents. Just, but he's a big looping kind of striker, not the most technical you're going to see out there. Not facing the best level of competition either. He is getting some grappling in there as well with Jolton Almeida, Carlos Felipe with Submission Circus. SFT is where he's fought his last several fights, going to a decision in his last 4, 5, 6 wins, including with Quilma Otani. His last finish was in 2016. So a little bit of some kind of questions of overall, stopping ability and just he definitely likes to march down his opponents, but I think against a guy like Anton, the Pleasure Man, he's going to have trouble cornering him. I think Anton's going to be much quicker, much more dynamic. 26 years old is the Swedish fighter here out of GBG MMA. Got a very impressive win over Konstantin Solantanov back in April of last year. That's where he got the spinning back fist in 13 seconds. It was a beautiful highlight. 2-piece money line parlay. I got you, Zhongli. More reasonable than a 5-piece on this one. Last couple wins over a good level of competition with Brave CEF as well. Has not fought since April of 2021, though. So definitely a little bit of a concern. Got to see him grapple and lose Gustafsson in 2019 when that was still kind of relevant. Good grappler, good overall stand-up here. I do kind of, wonder how Ocasio is going to be able to keep up with kind of the speed and overall movement of Anton. I do think Ocasio, he throws hard, but they're very looping, easy to counter, easy to move out of the way. I really like the Pleasure Man here. I don't like that he's been off for over a year and coming off a 13-second win. He does look like he's staying in good shape, so I hope that's the case. Minus 195, Ocasio dos Santos, plus 165. I just think that Anton is more dynamic here, but Ocasio, in the smaller octagon, could have a lot of success in kind of tracking, getting a hold, keeping pressure against Anton, and making this more of a boring fight. So that's the route for the dog, but I, again, do have the favorite. So far, I have the 3 favorites on the card. So, and I have the favorites, I have them, but it's definitely a misnomer that it's all favorites on the Contender Series. Moving on to the bantamweight division here. Very good fight as well here. I said I was going to say that, but here I am. Javid Basharat's brother, also known as Farid Basharat, also undefeated here. So very excited to see him come in. They have very similar game plans and fighting styles. Taking on Willian Souza, also known as Willian Colorado. That's how you're going to find most of Willian's fights. This is going to be a great fight. Very conflicting styles. Willian, very long and lengthy at 5'11", 26 years old. He's a little bit younger than his opponent here. 11-1 is the Brazilian. Lost his debut by knockout and to a 5-1 opponent in 2017. Since then, rattled off wins on the SERJP regional scene, which isn't the highest of levels there. Ended up going over and knocking out an Andre Muniz. Make sure you check, though. That is not the Andre Muniz, obviously, with this being 135 pounds, but knocked him out with jungle fights. He's got good stand-up for sure. Mostly a striker, has some decent jiu-jitsu as well to his game. Was able to watch the Debrecen Batista fight. Very good fight. First round, really competitive. Second round came out and broke him. The Alfonso fight from March, very quick knockout there as well. So he's coming into this fight. He's going to be very, very confident. He's a scrapper, man. He can take some to give some as well. I really, really like that out of him. And this is one of the dogs that I am looking at as a good possibility, honestly. I liked Farid Basharat. I like what I've seen, but he's coming into this fight with quite a large size and reach disadvantage here, but he's won 12 straight fights. Fighting out of Extreme Couture, which usually is a good sign, much more of a grappler than his brother. But again, he's patient on the feet. He hasn't beat a crazy level of competition, but he's put him away all but his debut there. amateur-wise as well, looking good. Had a knockout there. So he's well-rounded. He keeps a good distance. He's much more technical than Willian, but Willian, very good size, very good, heart, and he's going to take some shots. He's got to make this a dirty fight. He's got some good grappling as well, although I think Farid has the grappling advantage here. For me, I think Willian, has to push the pace, make this a dirty fight. Not a technical fight. Both these guys, I think, are going to come into this fight very, very ready. But, I just think that at the price Farid's at, I think it's a little bit inflated. And I do think Willian has a route to victory. So I'm taking Willian as an underdog at plus 200. You're seeing Farid at Basharat at minus 240 right now. In fact, he's the biggest favorite on the card. I don't agree with that. I think it's going to get a little bigger before fight time. William's a dog, man, and I do think he has the jiu-jitsu to be able to stay out of some positions and make this more of his type of fight. So this is going to be the first dog I'm officially taking, albeit, another dog that I'm, a little bit interested in is Khalil Romero, but I am taking Dennis there. I'm taking William Souza at 200 over Farid Basharat. So I think a lot of people are very, very excited about Basharat. I'm not quite sold from the level of competition and the type of fight I expect this to be. So we shall see. On to the main event here, and it's a very, very good one between two hard-hitting, large 185ers here in Ozzy Diaz, LFA Never Dies, and Joe Pyfer. Two guys I really, really like. Joe Pyfer. He had a really, really tough break against Dustin Stolfus on the Contender Series, a fight I picked Pyfer as a decent underdog in that, and he was having a good start before he got slammed and broke his arm, hurt himself there. But body bags Joseph Pyfer, I like this guy a lot. 8-2. He's just kept working. Came off of a tough break there. Was supposed to take on Kyle Malhagas. He pulled out last minute. Austin Trotman stepped in. I'll be honest. Austin Trotman gave a very good showing of himself in this fight here. It was by no means an easy fight for Joseph there. Very, very game, physically able opponent there. And, I really think that Pyfer looked good. Used his wrestling quite a bit in there before getting to stand up and, knocking him out. Typically uses his knockouts. The level of competition he's lost to Dustin Stolfus, who we've seen just coming off a win in the UFC, and then Jonathan Patti. That's the one that is definitely a concern. Getting guillotine choked by him in that fight. I get it was in 2019, but a little bit of a concern for me. I think that Ozzy Diaz is going to be the significantly bigger guy here. I think Pyfer's going to have trouble on the feet, and he's going to be wrestling. And I do think that Pyfer doesn't have what I would describe as world-class wrestling. It's very, suitable, good wrestling. If he gets Ozzy Diaz down, he can keep Ozzy down, I think, for sure. And maybe even work in a submission type of attack there. But Ozzy's looked good. 5 straight wins for him, 4 knockouts. The Logan Woods and Murrieta and Assis knockouts in LFA, all looking very, very impressive. Also with Bellator, so he's been fighting on a very good stage here. He's a good counter striker as well. He's the much bigger guy. And I think, for Pyfer, he's going to have to get in on the wrestling. And I think Ozzy Diaz is going to be able to stuff it. I really do. And once he does, this becomes a stand-up battle for the most part. And I rate Ozzy Diaz's stand-up and finishing abilities very high. I like Ozzy Diaz in this spot quite a bit to stuff the takedowns and either get a decision or get the knockout. I just think this is a very good fight card overall. When you look at the overall fight card here, I see 3 to 5 contracts. I'm not sure if they've ever had 5 contracts on the Contender Series or not, but that's how highly I rate the levels in this Contender Series for this week. And overall, super excited to see SD Dumas in a few weeks. One of my personal friends. He's going to look really, really good. I agree. I think it's a lot of unders. I think Alessandro Costa versus Martinetti hits the under, pretty certain on that one. I think Buska and Romero, that could go the over. I think it could get a little dirty, and that could be my over. Anton and Ocasio, I think hits in under. Even although Ocasio, if he wins, probably wins by decision. Ocasio hasn't gotten a finish in 6 years. Farid Basharat and William Souza, that one's going to be interesting for sure. But I think that one also has a good chance to hit an over, actually. And then Pyfer versus Diaz hits the under, in my opinion. My picks officially for this card and my 2-fight money line. Let me just get the time here. First of all, thank you guys all for joining me this Sunday morning. We're going to try to do Sundays from here on out for the most part, but I don't want to make any promises. Quick picks and 2-piece money line for Zhang Li. Here, my quick picks, I got Costa. Costa will be in my money line parlay. I got Costa. I got Buska. I got Anton. I got Souza, and I got Diaz. And Costa and Diaz will be my 2-piece money line parlay for this week. So Diaz currently a minus 105 underdog, by the way. So definitely very, very interesting there. So you can get a slight underdog price on Diaz. So I think Diaz will be the favorite by the time this gets around. But both guys have great stories. Both guys I'm a huge fan of. Overall, I love this card. It's going to be great. Tuesday, 8 o'clock. Thank you so much for joining me. Enjoy the rest of your Sundays. Timestamp's going up in a second. And then, yeah, just caught up. Completely agree on Ozzy. Glad you're on him. Not sold on Pyfer. Yeah, I like Pyfer too, man. But I think Ozzy's the real deal, man. This is, and I think, again, 3 to 5 contracts we're seeing on Tuesday. So definitely want to tune in because this gives you a head start on when these guys make it to the big show. Have a good one. Enjoy your Sunday, everybody. Thank you for joining me.